What a weekend it's been in Madrid. We've had big stories on the men's and the women's sides. Novak Djokovic exiting the tournament in the early rounds yet again. The Italian curse continues for him. And Sasha Zverev, he's continuing his way through the tournament, just squeezing past Fokina. But the electronic line calling was the main talk of the day there. We have Jess Pegula, she's out of the tournament, beaten convincingly by Uchijima, and all three Brits through on Super Saturday. And who said we couldn't play on the clay? Hey, welcome back. Here we go. A podcast that's long overdue. Sorry, not brought you anything for the last couple of days. A few other commitments. And JG will not be joining us for this one due to family commitments. But do not worry. I will take you through all of the stuff that's been going on. There's so much, which means it's probably going to be a long monologue from me. But I'm very interested to talk about all of the results that have been happening. Some run-of-the-mill and some, well, just completely crazy. So where do we get started? I think that we should start in one place and one place only, and that is Novak Djokovic. He loses to Matteo Arnaldi 6-3, 6-4, and Arnaldi now reaches the third round in Madrid. Djokovic loses 3 consecutive matches for the second time in 2025 and is 0-2 on clay this year. Well done to Arnaldi. I actually thought that this match was pretty good, to be honest. I didn't think that Djokovic looked that bad, but it's still nowhere near the level needed to be able to beat someone like Arnaldi when he's playing good tennis. Djokovic knows he's in decline. He's even said it in the post-match press conference. He's just going to have to sort of get used to the fact that this is sort of father time. And what more can you say? He's completed so much in his career. Now he's finally losing some matches. We can't really be too harsh on him. He's only playing for the slams, he says. He just hopes that he can get one more tournament. Or I think he said one more match, to be honest, on clay. So that doesn't bode too well. If he goes to Rome, plays one there, who knows? But you just want to see him at Roland Garros playing his top tennis. If he doesn't get to play many matches or win many matches beforehand, it's going to be tough, isn't it, to go straight into Roland Garros and expect a result. Djokovic against Italians, his first 50 matches were 47 wins and 3 defeats. His last 16 matches, 8 wins, 8 defeats. The vendetta, it says here. And Arnaldi had, well, nothing but nice things to say about Djokovic. He said he's my idol. I was just super nervous to be playing him on the tennis court. He said just the first part of the match, he just said, I just had to just try and just handle the nerves of the occasion being on court against Djokovic, really. I mean, he did say, excuse his Italian, I was shitting myself, which at least he's honest. But fair enough. He's beaten Djokovic now. The Italians seem to be doing very well against Djokovic, and Djokovic just has to sort of sit there and take it at the moment. And not just against the Italians, against quite a lot of players. Djokovic's last 5 losses have come to players ranked outside the top 30 as well. Not even getting beaten by... well, not getting beaten by top 10 players, not even top 20. Berrettini, number 35. Butik van der Zandschulp, 85. Jakub Mensik, 54. Tabilo, 32. And now Arnaldi, number 44. And I think what Scott Barkley says here, it resonates quite nicely. It says, with every passing tournament, Novak Djokovic showing up at the Olympic Games last year and doing exactly what needed to be done looks more and more incredible. That man held back the ticking of the clock for just that one tournament. It's unreal. Yeah, I think the more and more we see the level that Djokovic is sort of declining, I would say, at the moment, and how he was able to raise his game for that tournament, and especially that final. Yeah, it is unreal. I think that you've hit the nail on the head with this one, Scott Barkley. I still thought he played well at the Australian Open, but he's not quite the same guy, it would seem, anymore. As sad as it is to say, I know JG keeps saying we're not going to see him even win a tournament. I don't think he said this year. Definitely not a slam. I think I'm starting to come to the realization that if he does win it, he's going to have a lot of help along the way. I think if he comes up against any of these young, hungry lions anymore, I'm not sure that he's gonna be able to beat them. I don't know if he'll have enough in the tank. Obviously, he beat Alcaraz at the Australian Open. That was incredible. I'm not sure if a fully firing Carlos Alcaraz at Wimbledon, I don't know if Djokovic would stand a chance, or at Roland Garros. But I've seen stranger things. Never rule out Djokovic. I'm not ruling him out completely, but I think the way that he's speaking now in his post-match press conferences, it is the end near. I mean, there's a lot of people posting online saying when Nadal retired, that was pretty much when Djokovic retired. I hope not. I don't like to see Djokovic exiting tournaments so early and not really even being competitive in some of these matches either. That's the big takeaway from some of them, is he's just getting beaten very comfortably. And even though he's playing some good tennis, I think maybe the level is starting to rise a little bit higher and a bit too fast for him in his decline. Don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean that on his day, if he does everything correct and he puts it all together, he is still one, if not the best player in the world on his day. But how often can he produce that type of level anymore? I really hope that we get to see him have some deep runs at the slams. I think right now I'm just ruling out every other tournament. Just let me know what you think in the comments. Is that all we're gonna get? Are we just gonna have to be living in hope that Djokovic does something at the Grand Slam level? But is it just hope now? Not so much confidence that you're going into these tournaments with. I think it's natural. Everybody's going to be disappointed when he eventually disappears, but I've got a feeling it's not going to be too much longer. Anyway, that's a bit of a solemn note, but well done to Arnaldi anyway. We can't take anything away from him. He played a very, very good match. Lots of variety in his shots, even answering some of Djokovic's drop shots with some great movement and great touch on the ball. So he's played his part. I think Arnaldi's a very good player on his day as well. But Djokovic should be beating people like him in the past, but maybe not these days. Moving on, Sasha Zverev is someone we need to speak about. And Sasha Zverev, even though he squeezed past Davidovich Fokina in 3 sets, and it was a quite close 3 sets as well, I don't think he would even argue about that. It was a very, very close match. Let me just bring up the score here. There you go. So 6-2 to Fokina in the first set. Really impressed by Fokina. He's continued this level, which the Monte Carlo Fokina seems to be now translating into other tournaments. And to win that first set, he looked really convincing. And then Zverev started the comeback, started to look a lot more solid. Obviously, got broken straight away in the second set, but was able to get the break straight back. And then they went all the way to the tiebreak. But we know how devastating Zverev is in a tiebreak. And it proved to be the case again. There was, an opportunity for Sasha Zverev. This was surprised me. In the third set, he was leading 5-4 after just breaking. Then he got broken to love. Must just be nerves. And then Fokina held to love as well. Then they went to the tiebreak, and then Zverev won 7-love. So yeah, he's a strange player, Sasha Zverev, but he did everything he needed to in this match just to get it over the line. And when we talk about getting things over the line, that was one thing that was being spoken about in this match. And it was more about the electronic line calling. And this is a photo of the ball mark that was called in by the electronic line calling. And Zverev posted this on his social media, said, just going to leave this one here. This was called in. So you can see the ball mark clearly here, and you can clearly see the white line there. And it looks pretty much like, I would say, at least about a centimetre outside the white line. And it does bode the question, is the electronic line calling on clay working correctly? Because we've had other instances like this as well. I mean, is this going to be a more regular sight on a tennis court with players going to their bags to then take a photo of their phone because the umpire refuses to get off the chair because they have to trust the electronic line calling? Sabalenka, the trendsetter, here she is in Stuttgart, I believe. Was that the one? Yeah, Stuttgart. That was where she took her one. And then we had the exact same thing happening here. It's crazy that this is even happening. I don't really like the fact it's happening because we want to be able to trust technology. And if the technology isn't ready yet for clay, then I'd rather than they just get rid of it until it's a good, fully functional system, because I don't want to see players with their phones even in their bags on court, let alone out of the bag and like taking photos, videos. Shouldn't It's not the place for it. But if they feel that they need it and they can't trust what's going on and they want to be taking photos or having evidence of things to bolster their case, then I guess this is why we find ourselves in this situation. Sasha Zverev, for me, it looks, let me know in the comments section. Obviously, they've shown a lot of this technology. We did a video about it, and sometimes it can appear out when the ball actually landed in. And the one that actually was shown, let me see if I can find the actual picture that was given. I'm not sure if I can, but there was one on the actual machine. It actually shows it landing right the edge of the ball on the line. So it's very, very, it's a difficult landscape. Electronic line calling on clay, I don't think we're there yet, are we? And if we're not there, this is my personal opinion, maybe just get rid of it just for the time being until we can have accuracy. Why are we even having it at all? This is apparently it. Here we go. I'll swap this picture. So that's apparently the same mark. Looks here on this one, looks pretty clearly in. But on this one, looks very out. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Yeah. There was part of me thinking, is there some sort of calibration of the machine that's gone wrong and it's pushed it all off by 1 centimeter? But then surely you would have loads more errors throughout the whole match. So surely that can't be a thing. They have to trust the machine. I would love to see more slow motion replays of these ones. Have a definitive answer rather than just the ball mark like this. That would, maybe they could show it to the players on the screen and they could see for themselves. But just showing the mark and then them seeing this other mark, there's always going to be a question about the machine. Does the technology work? Yeah, it's a very interesting one, but not one I think that we should even be having. If it does work, let's trust it. If it doesn't work, let's get rid of it. But the players are definitely questioning the technology. Should they be doing it? Tell me in the comments. It's a very, very interesting topic, though. One that I've always been big on technology. At the moment, on clay, don't really like it. So let's see how that progresses. Somebody you'd probably expect to be complaining about technology, but I haven't really heard him complain about it, is Bublik. He's doing very well at the moment. He's just knocked out defending champion Andrei Rublev. Weird second set in there. He won the first set 6-4, got bageled in the second set, and then won the third set 6-4. There were some cheeky shots in there. I think when Bublik really focuses and plays his best tennis, it's actually very, very top contender. But how often do you see him act serious for enough of the time in the match to be able to win it? This match against Rublev, he looked fantastic. Some of the powerful forehand winners he was hitting and the creativity that he had in some of the rallies, it's brilliant. Entertaining. He's laughing on the court as well. I like to see a bit of personality. Maybe he does it just because he knows he can antagonize Andrei Rublev as well. I think that they're probably pretty good friends. They travel with each other on the UTS as well, see each other there. But yeah, this is a really big result, I think, for him. Could catapult his season. This is a big result against the reigning champion. And now, let me just have a quick look who he's playing next. Bublik will be playing Jakub Mensik. A very, very good matchup, that one. That one, I still think it's actually, call me crazy, it is an actual winnable match for Bublik. If the one thing that Jakub Mensik, and even though Jakub Mensik having a great year himself, just beat Ben Shelton 6-1, 6-4, moves to 5-0 against top 20 players this year. I mean, he's having a fantastic year. What a player. He's the one player I said coming into the tournament, remember, he's my one to watch. Despite his tough section, I'm still sticking by it. I think he is the one to watch, really, because of what he's done already this year with that Masters victory. Bublik's can throw some spanners in the works. You won't get the exact normal tennis match that you're expecting, like you'd probably get against Ben Shelton, like you'd get against some of these other players that he's gone through against. I think if he can throw him off his rhythm, have a few of these little on-court interactions, get into his head maybe a little bit. Maybe Jakub Mensik hasn't faced this type of thing before. Bublik, it can work against him, so, like against himself sometimes, but sometimes it works in his favor. Like playing the fool, playing the joker. But will it be enough against Jakub Mensik? I don't think so. That's my personal opinion. Jakub Mensik, it will take a lot to throw him off his game right now. He absolutely obliterated Shelton, beat Quinn as well. I thought it was a really good first round win for Jakub Mensik as well, because Quinn, I think he's one that's sort of on the come up a bit. Maybe give him another year or two, but he's starting to put some decent results together. But yeah, Mensik beat Shelton with ease, really, didn't he? 6-1, 6-4. Dangerous. Let me know your thoughts about him. Can he go all the way in this tournament? He's probably a name people should be talking about. He's on a collision course potentially with Sasha Zverev. And if they both win their next matches, that will be the match. So you've got Zverev versus Francisco Cerundolo and Mensik versus Bublik. And then we could see a quarterfinal Mensik versus Zverev. And the winner of that could be the winner of the whole entire tournament. It's not outside the realm of possibility. They're two very good players, Zverev and Mensik. That's the match I want to see. Someone no one's talking about, so I think we should talk about him, is Daniel Medvedev on the clay court. So he hated the clay. Look at him go. 6-2, 6-2, nice and comfortable. This is a bit faster, this clay. Dominant tennis. Third Masters round of 16 of the year. Up and down season by his standards, but with the clay season, he can approach it with less expectation. Fourth Madrid round of 16, sorry. That makes him more dangerous. Yeah, I think there is no expectation. He is somebody you should worry about. People don't give him the respect he's due on the clay courts because he's just always saying he hates them. But we know, Daniel, you're getting better. I mean, you see, he hasn't had much of a tournament so far. He's had a bye and a walkover the first two matches, and then Juan Manuel Solundolo, which he knocked out Felix, but I'd still expect Medvedev to beat somebody like the younger Solundolo brother, only because he's normally playing at challenger level a lot of the time. Doesn't really play too much main draw tennis, but he's come through the qualifying. And now Medvedev will face Brandon Nakashima in the next round. This is what Medvedev had to say after his win. He said, I felt good on practice here, but practice isn't the same. The practice courts are a bit different to the center court. I was a bit nervous. I feel like tennis players have a small superstition. The worse you play before a tournament, the better you play in it sometimes. The better you play in practice, the worse it can get in matches. Said, I overcame this superstition like 4 years ago. I was looking forward to trying to implement the game I had in practice. I completely did it. Happy with my level and looking forward. Yeah, very well done. Yeah, he's enjoying the clay these days. Look at him go. Could he be a contender for the title? There's a few players dropping out the tournament. He's one with a big serve and one with a grinding style. Might be his year. Who knows? But I like this tweet. Tennis Master saying, strange to see names like Medvedev, Ruud, Rublev, Tsitsipas outside the top 10. But I guess that's where we are now. Should we get used to it? And Andre Rublev, with that defeat, drops to 17 in the rankings, below Francis TFO and just above Stefanos Tsitsipas, who's in 18. We got Dimitrov in 15, Ruud in 14. And Daniel there is gone down. He may go back up again, but he's down to number 11 in the world. Yeah, you see there's a lot of players moving on up, but the two Russians moving down. Tsitsipas staying still for the time being. Yeah, other stories to talk about would be the Brits. What an impressive Saturday that the Brits had. I mean, we're talking about Medvedev not being happy playing on clay. Well, people say the Brits can't play on the clay, but Jack Draper, I think JG nailed it, can play on any surface now. Doesn't matter, just a quality player. And that performance he put in, Griekspoor should not be underestimated. Talon Griekspoor is a very, very solid clay court player as well. And Griekspoor has been, I think he's been fairly good this year. Let's see who he's beaten. He's beaten, who have we had? Actually, I'm going to take it back. I don't think since you've gotten to the clay, he hasn't been as consistent. He beat Carreño Busta, Bellucci, Majlazak, but then he lost, didn't he, to Darderi in the final of Marrakesh. Not the highest rated tournament, but still. Then he lost to Zverev in 3. Yeah, I've not seen that much from him on clay. He's normally pretty good, but maybe he is doing better on the hard court surfaces these days. Whereas Draper, he's now Mr. Multi-Surface. Yeah, not like multi-surface cleaner. No, he's a multi-surface player. Your fans will see that you're the top seed remaining in this half of the draw now, they said. Alcaraz is out. Djokovic is out. How do you view it? And then Jack, with a very standard answer, just said, I just take each match as it comes. At this level, anyone can beat anyone. I was focused on today. Now I'm focused on practicing well for tomorrow. Then whoever I play next, I take it match by match at this level. If I play good tennis, there's no reason why I can't go far. I totally agree with you, Jack. You shouldn't get ahead of yourself, especially when your next match is Matteo Berrettini. Yeah, somebody who, well, he's been to the final of this event before. I've got him in my bracket again to the final again, but it's really a pick 'em between these two. Draper, Berrettini, that is a brilliant matchup, but I personally think the winner of that matchup will make the final. Could I be right? Could I be wrong? Let me know in the comments if you agree with me, or do you have somebody else from this section? We have Cam Norrie down the bottom. How did Cam Norrie put on a brilliant performance that I didn't see coming? Lehechka, someone so good and so solid. He got bageled in the final set. As soon as Cam Norrie won that second set, it looked like Lehechka capitulated. I don't know what happened. I think Cam Norrie got in his head, and I've not seen Cam Norrie play so well for, it has to be about a year or so. But yeah, drops just 9 points in the final set to defeat Lehechka. So yeah, he's down the bottom side of the draw. Cam Norrie, a little resurgence. Jacob Fernley knocked out Thomas Mahatch. That was incredible as well. And also down the bottom, no, it's not Fonseca. He's out because Tommy Paul took him out after saving set points in both of the sets as well. Went to tie break on both of them, and 2 tie breaks, 2 sets to love. And Fonseca, despite a good performance, Tommy Paul put him in his place and said, "You're not ready yet," essentially. I think that's going to be happening more and more to the younger players coming through, as it should do, really. You can't expect to walk into any tournament at this level and just blow everybody away, especially someone of the level of Tommy Paul. Tommy Paul is one of the best players in the world for a reason. Doesn't just randomly have that number next to his name. He's that good. So well done to Tommy Paul. I'll tell you who Tommy Paul is playing next. Just bear with me 1 second. Tommy Paul is playing Kalen Khachanov next, and the winner of that will play Draper or Berrettini. But down that bottom half, yeah, it's a free for all. We got Tsitsipas versus Musetti. That'll be a really good one. Fernley Dimitrov, another good one as well. But Cam Norrie has a real opportunity. He's got Diallo in the next round. Just a lucky loser who had to play another lucky loser in the round before. So Cam Norrie got the draw has opened up. No Carlos Alcaraz down that side of the draw, so it looks pretty open. But let's move on to the women's, and a really disappointing performance, I would say, from Jess Pegula, out of the tournament and out in convincing fashion, 6-3, 6-2. And Uchijima, I'm starting to see her name popping up quite a lot of late. I think she's actually been impressing me more than I thought was possible. I used to see her name in draws, and then I would just think, oh, she'll probably just go out straight away. Now I'm starting to think she's sort of building a bit more confidence. Looks like she's happy to go up against some of the bigger players on the tour and actually give it a go now. Like, who's she beaten recently? She beat Lehman's in Miami. I thought that was a very good performance. Nice straight sets win, but then went out to Kalinskaya. Did well in the Billie Jean King Cup. Yeah, only just lost to Danilovic in one of the matches. She's beaten Montgomery here. She's beaten Jabeur here. And now she's gone on a beaten Pegula here. So pretty insane. Like, where does this performance come from? Definitely her best tournament that she's had of note. But I think we're going to start seeing more and more players like this. She's only 23 years old, but was it just her doing well, or was it Jess Pegula playing badly? Can't just it can't always be the fault of the person who's the loser of why somebody keeps going through and progressing in a tournament. But I think the manner of the loss in straight sets does suggest that there were problems. And 46 unforced errors is it a self-demolition rather than a big win for Uchijima? Yeah, usually rock solid, struggled most of the way. Bad day at the office. Is it a blip or something more? What do you reckon? Tell me in the comments. I think Jess will be back. I don't think that she'll let this affect her too much. I think she's pretty strong mentally. Everyone's entitled to a bad performance every once in a while. So I'm going to rule this one out. Let me know if you think it's more. Svitolina, she's been looking damn good, but Rybakina, the problems continue. She's out and in straight sets as well. And Svitolina earns her first win over Rybakina since 2021 and advances into the last 16. Svitolina is just having a fantastic last few weeks, coming off the back of a tournament win. Now she's looking good in this tournament as well. Be interested to find out who she has in the next round. Let me just have a quick check here. Svitolina will be playing. Oh, now it gets interesting. Yes. So she is playing the new and improved Maria Sakkari. She's back. Yes, everybody. She's beaten Jasmine Paolini and only dropped 3 games, 6-2, 6-1. Insane. And the way she was playing, it was like the Maria Sakkari of old. Such powerful shots, pushing Paolini around the court. Where's this Maria Sakkari been? Well, it says after getting back together with former longtime coach Tom Hill, she wins 3 matches in a row since the first, for the first time since the 2024 Charleston event. First top 10 win since the 2024 Indian Wells. First clay top 10 win since the 2021 Roland Garros quarterfinal versus Iga. Wow. That's really, really rolling it back a few years. Yeah, where's she been? If she plays like that, she could win this whole event. That's how good that she played against Paolini. It was domination. But we just haven't seen that from her. This next match will really define it. She's playing Svitolina next. And Svitolina, I would say, in better form than Paolini. If she beats Svitolina, then we're looking at either Uchijima or Alexandrova in the quarters. And that's both winnable. And then she's into the semis. And who knows? She could be a new resurged Sakkari. Maybe she can win it. If she wins it, is she back? It's crazy. Tennis is so up and down. I never understand how these different players just suddenly just disappear. Then they come back again. And one that's definitely not disappeared, so Aryna Sabalenka. She dropped a set, but she quickly corrected that. And she made short work of Mertens in the next 2. It was 6-3 to Mertens in the first, and then 6-2, 6-1. And she's looking to get back to the final. She was the loser in the final last year, lost to Iga. She won against Iga the year before. So it's sort of those two, the 1 and 2, who are obviously the most dominant. And that's the most expected, surely the most expected final that we're going to get. Iga, she did the business in her last match as well. Yeah, it was... I thought there's some good moments from Noskova, but not enough. Not enough to really, really trouble Iga. Once she got into her stride, the same as we've seen with Iga in a lot of her matches, as soon as she starts working the opponent out and starts dictating, yeah, it's over. So that's what we've got to look forward to potentially. We've got Sabalenka playing well. We've got Iga playing well, Svitolina playing well, Sakkari playing well. let's bring up some of the other results just so that we can have a little look through. Someone I've got to give a shout out to is Kostyuk. I mean, she's having a great tournament as well. Brilliant for her. Good for me because I've got her in my top 10 at the end of the year. Kenin was doing well until Potapova knocked her out. Well done to her. Stearns looking really good. 6-2, 6-love. And there's one other match that I just want to speak about on the women's side. Let me just go back to the Saturday because I was shocked by this one. Bear in mind, Sevastova just knocked out Ostapenko. And then she comes up against Diana Schneider. She loses 6-love. And I watched this. It was super fast match, 45 minutes. It looked like she didn't even deserve to be on the court with her. I've never seen such a dominant performance. Not sure what happened to Sevastova in this match, but she didn't look like she could even compete. Didn't look like she had any idea how to get back into the match. And Schneider just powered her off the court. So much power in that forehand. Crazy result. Can't believe that that's what actually happened. 6-love. That doesn't happen very often, especially after coming off the back of a big win as well. You got to be disappointed. A few other results just to have a little look through. Just on the women's, Mila Andreeva still going strong. Coco Gauff just cruising through. Madison Keys did well to knock out Kalinskaya. Shocked that Samsonova went out in that match. Vekic, I called this one. I didn't tell anybody else, but I did. In my own head, I was like, that's the one I think will be the one to pick as the upset of the day. I thought that she'd be able to beat Navarro. I think she's beaten her before, and I like to look at the head-to-heads. Yeah, she actually hasn't ever not beaten her. So it's now 3 wins out of 3 for Vekic against Emma Navarro. Seems like a bit of a bogey player. But Donna Vekic, could she be a dangerous person come the end of the tournament as well? But I think that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. That's my little... Well, I say little. It's been about nearly 40 minutes of me talking about the weekend's action. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Tell me all your thoughts about the matches in that comment section below. I want to hear which was your favorite match. Who do you think is going to win on the men's and the women's side? And what do you think about electronic line calling? Do you think we should just get rid of it on the clay? Is it ready? Or do you think the players should just shut up and put those phones back in the bag? Come on, tell me your thoughts. If you haven't done so yet, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.